I mean, are you trying to get me assassinated before this even happens?
No. Pick a...
So how did we end up here? These comments from Musk only partially in jest. The guy knows he's put a large target on his back. Many of them, in fact, disrupting multiple industries, calling out corrupt wolves masquerading as politicians, speaking up on important issues. Oh, and then there was the whole acquiring Twitter, now X, which is aggressively siphoning viewers of the fake news, accelerating the death spiral of the legacy media. It's their own fault, but X is going to make this happen even faster. So Musk, not entirely joking here, the context was regarding his proposed involvement in a Trump administration's Department of Government Efficiency. And we'll come back to this in a moment. But the reason I'm bringing this up today, another dangerously stupid moron has attempted to take out Donald Trump, also known as Orange Man Bad. Now, I want to say something. When dangerously stupid people hear the same lie over and over and over, not only are they prone to believe it, by the way, totally unrelated matters, safe and effective, it's for your protection, not their quarterly profits, and what laptop. But these dangerously stupid people are often likely to take action based on this lie. Add to the mix the fact that there are many, many dangerously stupid and, keyword here, unhinged people out there, and you have a recipe for disaster when you become an enemy of the hate stream media and or the establishment, although they're the same fucking thing. We're going to be dancing around a little bit today, but bear with me, folks. There is an overarching point. This posted on X. X recorded 22% year-over-year growth through the end of August. 22%. That's crazy. To illustrate just how fucking crazy 22% year-over-year growth is, if this were to occur for 4 consecutive years, the cumulative growth will be 10 times that number at about 222%. The power of compounding. And I saw some guy who made an observation that I think I agree with. He said, these people are coming from legacy media who hate you and hate humanity. The hate stream media was already dying of self-inflicted wounds. X is accelerating their demise. They know this. Their attacks on X and Elon Musk will only intensify until they take their final breath. Now, why would he talk about attacks on Elon Musk and X intensifying until the hate stream media completely vanishes? So again, today, just a few hours ago, another unhinged lunatic tried to take out Donald Trump. There's 2 attempts on this guy's life in a matter of weeks. But of course, I'm sure the rhetoric from the hate stream media has nothing at all to do with this, nor his political opponents. And what's the connection here? Well, here's a recent clip from Orange Man Bad himself, talking about Elon Musk's involvement in a government efficiency commission.
Fourth, at the suggestion of Elon Musk, who has given me his complete and total endorsement. That's nice. Smart guy. He knows what he's doing. It's very, very much appreciated. I will create a government efficiency commission tasked with conducting a complete financial and performance audit of the entire federal government and making recommendations for drastic reforms. We need to do it. Can't go on the way we are now. And Elon, because he's not very busy, has agreed to head that task force. Be interesting. If he has the time, that'd be a good one to do it. Fourth, at the suggestion...
Let's just take a quick pause. Orange Man Bad, public enemy number 1. Again, 2 extremely low testosterone, mentally deranged soy boys have attempted to take this guy out in the past few weeks, no doubt, due to having the Orange Man Bad program installed in their malfunctioning brains from the hate stream media. And to be clear, I'm not holding the hate stream media responsible. It's the deranged soy boys who are responsible. However, the hate stream media, no doubt, have planted these seeds. Had they not spent the last number of years saying that Orange Man Bad is a threat to democracy, comparing him to Hitler and so on, these kind of deranged lunatics would instead be posting about how they hate being an incel on Reddit and how women are the worst thing to ever exist. So just imagine that public enemy number 1, Orange Man Bad, teams up with Elon Musk, public enemy number 2, Elon Bad, Rocket Man Bad, Billionaire Bad, blah, blah, blah. And not only that, but together, Orange Man Bad plus Elon Bad signal their intent to gut the extremely bloated, inefficient, wasteful United States government of all its dead weight. Remember, Musk does have some experience doing this. Shout out to buying Twitter and shit-canning roughly 80% of the headcount, and suddenly, magically, miraculously, the service dramatically improves in the following 12 plus months with a fraction of the headcount. He is the man for the job. And the final ingredient here, if it didn't get bad enough, not only are public enemies number one and number two teaming up to gut the government, but public enemy number two, Elon Bad, owns X, which is literally siphoning away at a staggering rate viewers of the hate stream media, who have a further incentive to demonize both Orange Man Bad and Elon Bad. I wish I did not need to discuss this, folks, but dangerous times are ahead. And if anyone out there still seems to be under the impression that the United States government, A, is not inefficient, B, is not corrupt, well, I saw this post from one of my favourite sufferers of TDS, who nailed this one. Our government is corrupt and stealing our money. Now, just imagine, by the way, for a moment, that you happen to be somebody within the United States government and you are corrupt and you are stealing the money of taxpayers, and Orange Man Bad plus Elon Bad are going to be analysing and dissecting the US government top to bottom for efficiency, waste, corruption, and theft. Yeah, nothing to say here, don't worry. So, let's read. United Airlines just put Starlink on 1,000 plus planes, but the FCC claims we need to spend $5,000 to $10,000 per rural home for wired connections. This is for internet. These homes are putting Starlink in on their nickel while they wait for a cable modem in 10 years. What the fuck? Pure corruption or insane stupidity? You decide. That in response to this from Brendan Carr, the Brendan Carr, you might remember this guy, Commissioner of the FCC, Federal Communications Commission. This same guy, dissented, spoke out against the FCC himself, taking a huge career risk when these fuckwits rescinded an agreement with Starlink to provide internet access to rural Americans. Now check this out. Brendan, recapping. 2023, the FCC claims that Starlink is not capable of providing high-speed internet to thousands of people as the reason for revoking an $885 million award to the company. Now, just to be clear, Starlink was capable. The reason that this award was rescinded is because of corruption from the Biden administration going after Elon Bad, public enemy number two. These are the facts. Unless your head's up your ass, you will accept this as accurate. I highly encourage people to dig into some of the details of this if you're a little skeptical. In short, there was an agreement. Starlink would provide internet access to rural Americans for a fraction of the cost anyone else could do it. Then suddenly, out of absolutely nowhere, the FCC is like, oh, you know what? Yeah, no, fuck you. No money for you. You can't provide internet. You're not capable of doing it. In fact, we're going to spend multiples more money paying a bunch of other companies to do the same thing you could have done, but years later and for a significantly higher cost. Because Elon Bad, not Elon Bad, this isn't a Biden administration instruction. We have a good reason. Bye, look over there, distraction. Now, 2024, the FCC claims that Starlink provides so much high-speed internet that the word monopoly should be tossed out there. Yeah, that's right. The FCC chair in 2024, quote, our economy doesn't benefit from monopolies, so we've got to invite many more space actors in, many more companies that can develop constellations and innovations in space. Now, look, I don't have anything particularly that I strongly disagree with in her statement that competition isn't a good thing. It is, right? Competition's great. However, it's pretty rich now coming from the FCC chair, implying that Starlink has a monopoly, suggesting comprehensive coverage and market dominance, which is true. But hey, I mean, to be clear, SpaceX, owner of Starlink, is literally launching competitors' constellations as well. It's not a monopoly in traditional sense. They've just out-executed. This same FCC, a year earlier, doing a massive backflip on awarding Starlink a pile of cash to help connect rural Americans. You can't make this stuff up. So let's again just take a moment here. Orange Man Bad plus Elon Bad teaming up to gut the government of inefficiencies and waste. A history of Biden administration government agencies going after Elon, attacking him and his companies. The hate stream media have it in for Musk because of X. Both Musk and Orange Man Bad have massive balls and don't give a shit. So instead of cowering in the corner like little pussies and just caving into pressure, they will continue to fight for what they believe in. And you have Musk's not so jestful comments about, are you trying to get me assassinated?
With Trump, what would be a good target, just in terms of like ballpark?
I mean, are you trying to get me assassinated before this even happens?
No.
I want to finish by playing this fairly long clip of Elon Musk at the All-In Summit, discussing some of the unreasonable treatment he and his companies have received from the US government and his potential role in a government efficiency commission under a Trump administration. Keeping in mind what has just happened today, this is what happens when somebody tries to do the right thing and has the courage to stand up against bullies, whether they're individuals, media machines, or wasteful governments. My message, folks, is that the attacks on Musk from every direction will only intensify leading into the 2024 US presidential election, and then, assuming no late mail comes in while pipes have burst and counting has stopped, during a Trump administration, Department of Government Efficiency, as X continues to siphon away viewers from the H3 media. Bro, let us hope that Musk has really beefed up his personal security detail. I wish I did not need to be saying this.
He did a great job. And, you know, one of the things is there's this image on X of like, basically like you, Bobby, Trump, and JD are like the Avengers, I guess. And then there's another meme where you're in front of a desk where it says DOGE.
Yeah.
The Department of Governmental Efficiency.
Yes. I posted that one.
Tell us about
I made it using Grok, the Grok image generator. and I posted it.
Tell us about
and put it to my profile.
Seek for efficiency. How do you do it?
Well, I mean, I think with great difficulty. But you know, look, it's been a long time since there was a serious effort to reduce the size of government and to remove absurd regulations.
Yeah.
And you know, the last time there was a really concerted effort on that front was Reagan in the early '80s. So we're 40 years away from a serious effort to remove, you know, regulations that don't serve the greater good and reduce the size of government. And I think it's just, if we don't do that, then what's happening is that we get regulations and laws accumulating every year until eventually everything's illegal. And that's why we can't get major infrastructure projects done in the United States. Like if you look at the absurdity of the California high-speed rail, I think they've spent $7 billion and have a 1,600-foot segment that doesn't actually have rail in it. I mean, your tax dollars at work, I mean...
Yeah, what are we doing?
Well, that's an expense of 1,600 feet of concrete, you know? And I mean, I think it's like, if, you know, I realize sometimes I'm perhaps a little optimistic with schedules, but, you know... I mean, I wouldn't be doing the things I'm doing if I was, you know, not an optimist. But at the current trend, you know, California high-speed rail might finish sometime next century, maybe, but probably not. We'll
have teleportation by that time. So.
Yeah, exactly. We'll just have the AI do everything at that point. I think you really think of, you know, the United States and many countries, it's arguably worse in the EU, as being like Gulliver tied down by a million little strings. And like any one given regulation is not that bad, but you've got a million of them, and or millions actually, and then eventually you just can't get anything done. And this is a massive tax on the consumer, on the people. It's just they don't realize that there's this massive tax in the form of irrational regulations. I'm going to give you a recent example that you know is just insane. Is that like SpaceX was fined by the EPA $140,000 for they claimed dumping potable water on the ground, drinking water. So, and we're like, this is at Starbase, and we're like, we're in a tropical thunderstorm region. That stuff comes from the sky all the time, and there was no actual harm done. You know, it was just water to cool the launch pad during liftoff, and there's zero harm done. Like, and they agree, yes, there's zero harm done. And we're like, okay, so there's no harm done, and but you want us to pay a $140,000 fine? It's like, yes, because you didn't have a permit. Okay, we didn't know there was a permit needed for zero harm fresh water being on the ground in a place where fresh water falls from the sky all the time.
Got it. Next to the ocean.
Next to the ocean.
Because there's a little bit of water there too.
Yeah. I mean, sometimes it rains so much the roads are flooded. So we're like, you know, how does this make any sense?
Yeah.
And then like then they were like, well, we're not going to process any more of your applications for Starship launch unless you pay this $140,000. So they just ransomed us, and we're like, okay, so we paid $140,000. But it's like, this is no good. I mean, at this rate, we're never going to get to Mars.
I mean, that's the confounding part here.
Yeah.
Is we're acting against our own self-interest. You know, when you look at, we do have to make, putting aside fresh water, but hey, you know, the rocket makes a lot of noise. So I'm certain there's some complaints about noise once in a while, but sometimes you want to have a party or you want to make progress and there's a little bit of noise. Therefore, we trade off a little bit of noise for massive progress or even fun.
Yes.
So when did we stop being able to make those trade-offs? But talk about the difference between California and Texas, where you and I now reside. Texas, you were able to build the Gigafactory. I remember when you got the plot of land, and then it seemed like it was less than 2 years when you had the party to open it.
Yeah. From start of construction to completion was 14 months.
14
months.
Is there anywhere on the planet that would go faster? Is like China faster than that?
China was 11 months.
Got it. So Texas, China, 11 and 14 months. California, how many months?
And just to give you a sense of size, our Tesla Gigafactory in China is 3 times the size of the Pentagon.
Which was the biggest building in America.
No, there are bigger buildings, but the Pentagon's a pretty big one.
Yeah, or it was the biggest.
In units of Pentagon, it's like 3.
Okay, 3 Pentagons and counting.
Yeah.
Got it.
In 14 months. Just the regulatory approvals in California would have taken 2 years.
Yeah.
So that's the issue.
Where do you think the regulation helps? Like for the people that will say, we need some checks and balances. We can't have some, because for every good actor like you, there'll be a bad actor. So where is that line then?
Yeah, I mean, I have in sort of doing sensible deregulation and reduction in the size of government is just like be very public about it and say like, which of these rules do you, if the public is really excited about a rule and wants to keep it, we'll just keep it. And here's the thing about the rules: if the rule is turns out to be a bad, we'll just put it right back. Okay, and then problem solved. It's like it's easy to add rules, but we don't actually have a process for getting rid of them. That's the issue. There's no garbage collection for rules.
When we were watching you work, David and I and Antonio, in that first month at Twitter, which was all hands on deck, and you were doing zero-based budgeting, you really quickly got the costs under control. And then miraculously, everybody said this site will go down, and you added 50 more features. So maybe explain, because this is the first time.
Yeah, there were like so many articles like this is Twitter is dead forever. There's no way it could possibly even continue at all.
It was almost like the press was
like,
rooting for you to fail.
Let's write the obituary. Like, here's the obituary.
They're all saying their goodbyes on Twitter. Remember that?
Yeah.
They were all leaving and saying their goodbyes because the site was going to melt down. And
to totally fail and
all the journalists left.
Which is if you ever want to like hang out with a bunch of hall monitors, oh my God, Threads is amazing. Every time I go over there and post, they're like, they're really triggered. But
yeah, I mean, if you like being condemned repeatedly, then for reasons that make no sense, then Threads is the way to go.
Yeah, it's really, it's the most miserable place on earth. If Disney's the happiest, this is the anti-Disney. Yeah. But if we were to go into government, you went into the Department of Education or pick the department. You've worked with a lot of them, actually.
Sure.
You can't go in there in zero-based budget. Okay, we get it. But if you could just pair 2, 3, 4, 5% of those organizations, what kind of impact could that have?
Yeah, I mean, I think we'd need to do more than that. I think
ideally, compounding every year, 2 or 3% a year. I mean, it would be better than what's happening now.
Yeah, look, I think we've if Trump wins, and obviously I suspect there are people with mixed feelings about whether that should happen, but we do have an opportunity to do kind of a once-in-a-lifetime deregulation and reduction in the size of government. Because the other thing, besides the regulations, America is also going bankrupt extremely quickly. And everyone seems to be sort of whistling past the graveyard on this one. But
they're all grabbing the silverware. Everyone's stuffing their pockets in the silverware before the Titanic sinks. It's like,
well, the Defense Department budget is a very big budget. Okay, it's $1 trillion a year. DoD Intel, it's $1 trillion. And interest payments on the national debt just exceeded the Defense Department budget. They're over $1 trillion a year just in interest and rising. We're adding $1 trillion to our debt, which our kids and grandkids are going to have to pay somehow. Every 3 months. And then soon it's going to be every 2 months, and then every month. And then the only thing we'll be able to pay is interest. And if this is, it's just, it's just like a person at scale that has racked up too much credit card debt. This does not have a good ending. And so we have to reduce the spending.
Let me ask one question, because I've brought this up a lot, and the counter-argument I hear, which I disagree with, but the counter-argument I hear from a lot of politicians is if we reduce spending, because right now if you add up federal, state, and local government spending, it's between 40 and 50% of GDP. So nearly half of our economy is supported by government spending, and nearly half of people in the United States are dependent directly or indirectly on government checks, and either through contractors that the government pays, or they're employed by a government entity. So if you go in and you take too hard an axe too fast, you will have significant contraction, job loss, and recession. What's the balancing act, Elon? Just thinking realistically, because I'm 100% on board with you. The next set of steps, however, assume Trump wins and you become the chief DOGE of DOG, like double G. And I think the challenge is how quickly can we go in? How quickly can things change? And without
I want that on my business card.
Yeah. without all the contraction and job loss. Yeah. So I guess how do you really address it when so much of the economy and so many people's jobs and livelihoods are dependent on government spending?
Well, I mean, I do think it's sort of it's a false dichotomy. It's not like no government spending is going to happen. You really have to say, like, is it the right level? And just remember that any given person, if they are doing things in a less efficient organization versus a more efficient organization, their contribution to the economy, their net output of goods and services will reduce. I mean, you've got a couple of clear examples between East Germany and West Germany, North Korea and South Korea. I mean, North Korea, they're starving. South Korea, it's like amazing.
It's the future.
The compounding effect of productivity gains. Yeah.
Yeah, it's night and day.
Yeah.
And so in the North Korea, you've got 100% government. In South Korea, you've got probably, 40% government. It's not zero. And yet you've got a standard of living that is probably 10 times higher in South Korea. At least, exactly. And then East and West Germany, in West Germany, you had, just thinking in terms of cars, I mean, you had BMW, Porsche, Audi, Mercedes, and East Germany, which is a random line on a map. The only car you could get was a Trabant, which is basically a lawnmower with a shell on it. And it was extremely unsafe. There was a 20-year wait. So you put your kid on the list as soon as they're conceived. And even then, only I think a quarter of people maybe got this lousy car. And it's just the same. So that's just an interesting example of basically the same people, different operating system. And it's not like West Germany was some a capitalist heaven. It's quite socialist actually. So when you look, probably it was half government in West Germany and 100% government in East Germany. And again, it's sort of a 5 to, call it at least a 5 to 10x standard of living difference, and even qualitatively vastly better. And it's obviously, sometimes people have these, amazingly in this modern era, this debate as to which system is better. Well, I'll tell you which system is better. The one that doesn't need to build the wall to keep people in. Okay, that's how you can tell. Okay. Yeah. It's a dead giveaway.
Spoiler alert.
Dead giveaway.
Are they climbing the wall to get out or come in?
You have to build a barrier to keep people in. That is the bad system. Yeah. It wasn't West Berlin that built the wall. Okay. They were like, anyone who wants to flee West Berlin, go ahead.
Speaking of walls.
So, and if you look at sort of the flux of boats from Cuba, there's a large number of boats from Cuba, and there's a bunch of free boats that anyone can take to go back to Cuba.
Yeah. Plenty of seats.
There's hey, wow, an abandoned boat. I could use this boat to go to Cuba, where they have communism. Awesome.
Yes.
And yet nobody picks up those boats and does it. Amazing. So,
You've given this a lot of thought.
yeah.
Wait, so your point is jobs will be created. If we cut government spending
Yes.
in half,
Yes.
jobs will be created fast enough to make up for, right, just to counter.
Yes, no, obviously, I'm not suggesting that people, have are immediately tossed out with no severance and can't pay their mortgage. There needs to be some reasonable off ramp where,
Transition.
yeah, so a reasonable off ramp where they're still earning, they're still receiving money, but have a year or two to find jobs in the private sector, which they will find, and then they will be in a different operating system. Again, you can see the difference. East Germany was incorporated into West Germany. Living standards in East Germany rose dramatically.
In 4 years, if you could shrink the size of the government with Trump, what would be a good target, just in terms of ballpark?
I mean, are you trying to get me assassinated before this even happened?
No. Pick a low number.
I mean, there's that old phrase, go postal. I mean, it's like they might.
Yeah.
On me.
So we'll keep the post office.
I mean, I'm going to need a hell of a security detail, guys.
Yes.
I mean, the sheer number of disgruntled workers, former government employees, is quite a scary number. I mean, I might not make it.
I was saying low digits every year for 4 years.
To be clear, he's not joking. Stay safe, Elon. We need you, bro. Want more content? Early access? Bunch of perks? Click the links in the pinned comment. AG1 is awesome. I've been taking it daily now for more than 3 years. It's a great way to fill in nutritional gaps. It's packed full of vitamins, minerals, and whole food source nutrients, plus has prebiotics, probiotics, and adaptogens to improve gut health, regularity, and help your body handle stress. I'm always looking for an edge to help me feel and perform my best, which is why I haven't missed a day of AG1 for more than 3 years. And I haven't missed a daily video in more than 3 years. Must be a coincidence, right? Just try it and see how you feel. Click the link in the pinned comment or head to drinkag1.com/SMR and get yourself a free 1-year supply of vitamin D3 plus K2 and 5 travel packs. But don't take my word for it. This is what viewers of the channel had to say after trying AG1. I feel like I have a lot more energy since I started on AG1. By the way, viewer, that makes 2 of us. On to the next. Just got my AG1 in the mail. Legit feeling the effects after day 3. This viewer's been taking AG1 for 8 months and says, what an investment. Another. 3 months ago, I started AG1 and have been enjoying the evenness of alertness and energy that lasts the day. I just started the wife on it too. Are you convinced yet? I mean, hey, it's worth trying, right? Click the link in the pinned comment or head to drinkag1.com/SMR, or I can keep going, plenty more to come. This viewer, after about a month on AG1, definitely a lack of fatigue in the afternoon. Pleasant side effect is that my coffee intake has imploded and is almost down to 0. One more? Yeah, why not? I honestly feel younger and will be continuing to use AG1. This stuff really is crazy good. I didn't think it would be, but this stuff is awesome. It really is what everyone is saying. One more? Don't mind if I do. I've just received my 3rd month supply. I've drank it every day. I have so much energy throughout most of the day. I'm productive, started a new business, started socializing, refurbished a boat. It's no coincidence. Thank you for your persistence, your integrity, and your insights. Now look, these are not my words. These are not my testimonials. This is what you guys and girls are saying. Maybe it's 100% placebo effect. But even if that's the case, I think it's money well spent. Click the link in the pinned comment or head to drinkag1.com/SMR and get yourself a free 1-year supply of vitamin D3 plus K2 and 5 travel packs. If you're still skeptical, hey, I don't blame you. Everyone on the planet seems to be promoting AG1 now, but guess what? They weren't nearly 3 years ago when I had this to say privately to my Patreon audience before there was a relationship, when I was asked about what I was doing for my health, energy, and so on. Just sharing my genuine, honest thoughts about a product I'd recently discovered that was at the time called Athletic Greens, now AG1. If I could only recommend one supplement to take, Athletic Greens, and I'm not getting paid to say this, Athletic Greens is a fucking game changer. I cannot believe how effective this is. No longer having a lack of energy in the afternoons. It's fucking amazing. There's only one thing to recommend seriously. Try Athletic Greens. You won't go back. So obviously, just like Elon Musk is a liar, a fraud, a con man, a scammer, a fake engineer, and Tesla's going bankrupt, you shouldn't trust that guy from about 3 years ago who, without any financial incentive, was promoting this product to his audience on Patreon when they were asking about health and what he's doing for supplements. Because obviously, there was some other reason he recommended that, obviously. Not sure what it was, but don't trust that guy. And all the testimonials, like my mental game's improved with AG1. I feel better than ever. I'm so impressed I've bought it for both my parents. I feel more focused and have better digestion. Incredible difference. No more afternoon fatigue. It's relieved gut issues. These are all just obviously fake testimonials from fake people. Right? Wrong. Just try it. Unless you hate yourself. If you hate yourself and you don't even want to risk possibly feeling better, this is not for you. But for everyone else, What's the worst that could happen? Try it for a month. See how you feel. It's a no-brainer. Just click the link in the pinned comment or head to drinkag1.com/SMR. You'll get a free 1-year supply of vitamin D3 and K2 plus 5 travel packs. And you'll take the colossal risk that maybe you might have a similar experience to some of the people whose testimonials we've read in this video.